Master the art of quiet daily wins. There is a moment each day that holds more power than any other. It is the stillness before the world awakens, before the noise, before the distractions, before the demands of life start pulling you in every direction. This moment, often overlooked, is where your foundation is laid. It is the silence before the rise. When you wake, you are standing at the threshold of possibility. The choices you make in the early hours are not just about routine, they are about identity. They whisper into the depths of your mind, who will you be today? It does not matter how grand your vision may be if your mornings begin without intention. Greatness is not built in a single day, but in the daily quiet choices no one else witnesses. And it is here in the stillness that you hold the power to shape everything that follows. Think of your morning as the soil in which your future is planted. The habits you nurture here, discipline, focus, gratitude, reflection, are the seeds. At first they may seem small, almost invisible, but with consistency they grow roots strong enough to withstand the storms of life. Ask yourself, do you begin your day by giving away your attention to the world, or do you claim it first for yourself? Too often people wake up and immediately hand over their peace to the noise of notifications, to the endless scroll, to the demands of others. But you are being called to something different. You are being called to rise with intention, not reaction. A disciplined morning is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about reminding yourself that you are the author of your day, not a character in someone else's story. Even a simple ritual, a few moments of silence, a glass of water, a stretch, a written thought of gratitude can shift the entire rhythm of your life. Consider this. When a river begins its journey, the smallest bend shapes the entire path ahead. So it is with your mornings, a single intentional act, choosing not to hit snooze, choosing to move your body, choosing to set a goal bends the course of your day. And when repeated day after day, it bends the course of your life. Discipline may feel heavy at first. The alarm clock rings and your body resists. Your mind whispers excuses, tempting you to remain in the comfort of sleep. But remember this, comfort is a prison if it keeps you from growth. Rising early with intention is not punishment, it is freedom. You are freeing yourself from the chains of autopilot living. There is a quiet strength that comes from honoring your commitments to yourself. No applause, no audience, just you keeping the promises that shape your character. When you show up for yourself in the silence of the morning, you build trust with the one person you can never escape, you, and that trust becomes the foundation for every victory that follows. Do not underestimate the power of these small victories. The world may never see you choosing to rise instead of sleep, choosing to meditate instead of scroll, choosing to write down your goals instead of drifting aimlessly. But these unseen choices are the quiet daily wins that transform your entire being. Each morning is a blank canvas, waiting for the brushstrokes of your intention. You decide the colors, the patterns, the meaning. Some days the painting may be bold, others more subtle, but every stroke matters. Every intentional choice is a declaration that you refuse to live passively. So begin your mornings not in haste, but in stillness. Let silence be your teacher. Let discipline be your guide. Let gratitude remind you of how much you already have, even as you reach for more. In this way, you rise not only into a day, but into a life aligned with purpose. And as the day unfolds, you will notice a shift. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more clarity. You handle challenges with calm strength. Why? Because you began in stillness. Because you chose discipline over distraction. Because you planted the right seeds. The stillness before the rise is not just a pause, it is your proving ground. It is where you practice the art of becoming. And tomorrow and the next day and every day after, you will have the chance to return here, to choose again, to rise again. So ask yourself now, how will you use your stillness tomorrow? What seed will you plant in the soil of your morning? Discipline is not a punishment, it is a gift. It is the invisible hand that shapes the contours of your life, carving away distractions, excuses, and the parts of you that hold you back. If your dreams are the marble, then discipline is the sculptor's chisel, striking gently yet firmly each day until your vision takes form. Many people mistake motivation for discipline. Motivation is a spark. It burns bright but briefly. Discipline is the steady flame that endures long after motivation has faded. When your mood shifts, when life feels heavy, when every fiber of your body begs for comfort, it is discipline that keeps you moving forward. Think of the strongest structures ever built. They did not rise in a day. They were built brick by brick, laid with precision, repeated without fail. Discipline is the bricklayer of your destiny. Every small act, waking up on time, keeping a promise to yourself, showing up even when you do not feel like it, is another brick placed carefully in the foundation of your future. You may ask yourself, how do I cultivate such strength when distractions seem endless? The answer lies not in drastic change, but in steady, intentional practice. Begin with one commitment, something small yet meaningful. Perhaps it is waking 30 minutes earlier to read or plan your day. Perhaps it is choosing to exercise when you'd rather rest. Perhaps it is saying no to a distraction that once stole your focus. Each act is a declaration. I am in command of myself. Discipline does not demand perfection. It demands persistence. You will stumble. That is part of the journey. What matters is not whether you stumble, but whether you stand again, stronger than before. Each time you rise after falling, your discipline strengthens. You are teaching yourself that failure is not final. It is simply feedback. There is a quiet pride that grows within you when you honor your commitments. No one else may see it, but you feel it in the way you carry yourself. You trust yourself more deeply, and when you trust yourself, you become unshakable, because you know that no matter the storm, you will not abandon your own path. Consider the distractions that call for your attention daily. They promise quick pleasure, quick escape, quick relief, yet they leave you emptier than before. Discipline is the voice that says, not today. I choose the greater reward. It is the force that allows you to delay gratification, knowing that the fruit of patience is sweeter than the fleeting thrill of indulgence. Think of a river carving its way through stone. It does not rush, yet it transforms everything in its path. Discipline works the same way. Day after day, it wears away the unnecessary, the unhelpful, the untrue. Slowly, quietly, it shapes you into someone capable of carrying the weight of your own dream. And make no mistake, discipline is love. It is not about restriction, but about freedom. When you discipline your mind and body, you are freeing yourself from the chains of impulse, from the slavery of distraction, from the trap of wasted potential. You are saying, I love myself enough to do what is necessary, even when it is difficult. Your dreams are not waiting for the perfect moment. They are waiting for your consistent effort, not the occasional burst of energy, not the once-in-a-while attempt, but the steady rhythm of daily practice. Greatness is built quietly in the repetition of small, purposeful acts. So reflect. What habits in your life are chiseling away at your future, and which are building it? Which daily choices honor the person you want to become, and which betray them? Begin to notice with honesty and without judgment. Awareness is the first step toward change. From this awareness, make a vow to yourself, not a grand promise you cannot keep, but a simple one. One action, one commitment, one daily win. As you repeat it, you will notice the shift. You will walk differently, think differently, and eventually live differently. For the discipline you build today is the foundation on which your entire tomorrow stands. Remember, you are not simply creating habits. You are creating identity. Each disciplined act is a vote for the person you are becoming. And over time, those votes add up until there is no question of who you are. You are the disciplined one. You are the resilient one. You are the one who refuses to quit. And as your discipline grows, so too does your mental strength. For discipline is not only about controlling your actions, it is about mastering your mind. It is the training ground where your mental toughness is forged. If something inside you is awakening as you listen, don't keep it to yourself. Write in the comments what part of today's message touched your heart. Your words might be the light someone else is waiting for. Share this with a friend who's on their own journey. And subscribe, because the next chapter will take you even deeper. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every action, every decision, every step forward begins first as a thought. If your mind is unguarded, the world will rush in with doubts, with fears, with distractions. But when you strengthen the walls of your mind, you create a fortress. steady, unshakable, and deeply aligned with who you are becoming. A fortress is not built overnight. Its walls are raised brick by brick, stone by stone, with careful patience. So it is with your mental strength. It grows through small, deliberate choices, through the way you respond when life tests you, through the moments you refuse to give in to fear, through the focus you choose when chaos surrounds you. Consider for a moment the storms you have already weathered. Perhaps there were times when life felt overwhelming, when you wondered if you could keep going, yet you are here. You survived. You endured. Those storms were not punishments, they were your training. They tested the foundation of your mind, and though you may have stumbled, you did not fall apart. Each challenge left behind a lesson. Each difficulty added another layer of strength to your walls. Mental toughness is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to remain steady in the middle of it. It is standing tall when the winds of doubt blow hard against you. It is saying to yourself, I will not be broken here. I will not surrender my peace. But how do you strengthen these walls each day? You begin with awareness. Notice the thoughts you allow in. Not every thought deserves a place within your mind. Some thoughts uplift and empower, others weaken and chain you. Discipline your mind as you would guard a sacred temple. When a thought arrives that tells you you're not enough, you do not entertain it. You replace it with the truth. I am capable. I am growing. I am becoming. Focus becomes your shield. In a world filled with endless noise, the ability to direct your attention is a rare and powerful gift. Each time you pull your focus back from distractions, from negativity, from the endless demands of others, you reinforce your walls. You tell your mind, I will not be scattered. I choose clarity. Think of focus like the beam of a lighthouse cutting through a storm. The waters may rage, the winds may howl, but the beam remains steady, guiding you safely toward your destination. When you strengthen your focus, you no longer feel lost in the chaos of life. You see clearly where you are headed, and that clarity becomes your anchor. Mental strength also grows through embracing discomfort. Each time you step outside of what is ease, you add another stone to your fortress. Whether it's choosing to exercise when you'd rather rest, speaking your truth when silence feels safer, or persisting through a challenge that makes you doubt yourself, these are the workouts of the mind. Just as muscles grow through resistance, so does mental resilience. And yet remember, strength is not hardness. To be strong of mind does not mean to close yourself off or become unfeeling. A fortress does not only protect, it also shelters. True mental strength is balanced with compassion for yourself and for others. It allows you to stand firm without becoming cold, to endure without losing your humanity. When you learn to guard your mind, you take back control of your life. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances, opinions, or fears. You become the gatekeeper, deciding what is allowed to enter and what must be turned away. And in this mastery, you discover freedom. So the question you must ask yourself is this: what thoughts have I allowed to live rent-free in my mind? Are they building my fortress, or are they slowly tearing down its walls? The answer will reveal where your next work must begin, because the truth is simple. When your mind is strong, you can endure any challenge, conquer any distraction, and rise above any obstacle. And with this strength, you can begin to make the hard choices that lead not to quick comfort, but to lasting growth. There is a quiet strength in those who can say no to the immediate in order to say yes to the last. It is the strength of delayed gratification, the art of choosing long-term rewards over short-term comforts. And though it is not the easy path, it is always the path of transformation. When you choose long-term rewards, you step into the role of a gardener. You plant seeds not for today's harvest, but for the abundance of tomorrow. The soil may look barren now, and the waiting may feel endless, but with care and consistency, the garden always grows. The fruit of patience is far sweeter than the fleeting taste of instant indulgence. Most people live in pursuit of the immediate. They want quick results, quick recognition, quick relief, but quick victories rarely build lasting strength. They are like fires made of paper, bright for a moment, then gone. Real growth requires endurance. It asks you to give up the thrill of the moment so you can stand tall in the seasons to come. Think about the times in your life when you chose patience over haste, Perhaps you studied long hours for an exam instead of giving in to distraction, and later tasted the victory of achievement. Perhaps you saved when you could have spent, and later found freedom in your financial stability. Perhaps you stayed disciplined in your health, and now you carry energy and vitality that others envy. These are the quiet victories that delayed gratification delivers. At its core, delayed gratification is about respect for your future self. Every choice you make today is a gift or a burden to the person you will become. When you give in to momentary comfort, you pass the weight forward. When you choose discipline and restraint, you pass forward strength, opportunity, and freedom. It is not easy. The human mind craves the now. It loves the dopamine of instant reward, the relief of immediate pleasure. But mastery lies in recognizing that the feeling fades quickly, leaving you emptier than before. The joy of long-term achievement, however, fills you for a lifetime. Imagine your life as a long, winding road. The shortcuts may seem tempting, paths that promise faster arrival, easier journey. But more often than not, shortcuts lead to dead ends. The steady, patient walk may feel longer, but it is the only road that ensures you reach the destination with strength and integrity intact. The practice of delayed gratification begins with small daily choices: choosing to read instead of scrolling, choosing to exercise instead of snoozing, choosing to work on your craft instead of chasing easy distraction. These choices may not bring applause today, but one day they will build the life you dream of living. And the truth is, every time you delay gratification, you are not just saying no to something small, you are saying yes to something greater. You are saying yes to your goals, yes to your growth, yes to the person you are becoming. Patience in this sense is not passive. It is not simply waiting, it is purposeful preparation. Like a sculptor chiseling stone, you chip away at what is unnecessary, holding the vision of what you are creating. The world will offer you countless distractions wrapped in the disguise of happiness. They will whisper, just this once, no one will know, it won't matter, but you will know, you will feel it. And in those moments, you must ask, will this choice bring me closer to my vision, or will it pull me farther away? Remember, every no to temptation is a yes to your future. Every small act of restraint strengthens your discipline. Every moment of patience deepens your character. And here lies the truth. Delayed gratification is not about deprivation. It is about direction. It is not about denying yourself joy, but about aligning your life so that the joy you experience is deeper, richer, and lasting. So as you stand at the crossroads of comfort and growth, ask yourself, what story do I want to tell when I look back? That I gave in to what was easy, or that I built what was extraordinary? The answer is written not in your intentions, but in your choices, in the quiet decisions that no one sees, repeated faithfully until they become your legacy. The most powerful transformations often happen away from the eyes of others. They are not broadcasted, not celebrated, not instantly recognized. They are built quietly, through steady, consistent effort that asks for no applause. For it is not the noise of your words that shapes your destiny, but the depth of your action. We live in a world obsessed with display. Achievements are posted, progress is announced, and effort is shared before it is even complete. But real greatness rarely announces itself. It grows in silence, in the hours when no one is watching, in the decisions you make when there is no audience to approve of you. Quiet action is powerful because it is pure. It is not done for recognition, it is done for transformation. You are not proving yourself to the world, you are proving yourself to you. And when you build from that place, your results speak in ways words never could. Think of a tree. When a seed is planted, no one sees the roots growing underground. They spread in silence, unseen, anchoring the tree deeply so that when it finally rises, it can stand tall through storms. Your quiet actions are those roots. They may not be visible yet, but they are the foundation of the strength you will one day display. Every time you choose to act without seeking attention, you are investing in those roots. You wake early and work, even when no one thanks you. You stay consistent with your discipline, even when no one notices. You keep promises to yourself, even when no one is watching. These invisible victories build an unshakable confidence. Ask yourself, are you working for the applause of the crowd, or for the strength of your soul? The crowd's applause fades quickly. The strength you build within endures. Quiet action also protects you from the trap of talking more than doing. Words are easy, They cost nothing, but action, steady, consistent, often unseen action, is what moves you closer to your goal. And the less you talk about what you're building, the more energy you conserve for the building itself. Consider the craftsman who spends months perfecting his art in silence. The world may not see him as he works, but when the final creation is revealed, it speaks volumes. It requires no explanation, no announcement. The work itself carries the message. So it is with your life. This is not to say you must never share your progress, but rather to remind you that progress does not depend on being seen. In fact, sometimes the most profound growth happens when no one else even knows it's occurring. You are not obligated to prove every step of your journey. You are only responsible for walking it with discipline and purpose. In the silence of quiet action, you learn patience. You learn to trust the process, even when results are not immediate. You learn to detach from the need for constant validation. And most importantly, you learn that your worth does not come from what the world applauds, but from the strength you build with. So when you are tempted to announce your plans, pause, ask yourself, do I want recognition for the intention, or fulfillment from the result? Choose the result, choose the work, choose the quiet path that allows your success to speak when the time is right. Because one day, the fruits of your quiet effort will appear, and when they do, you will not need to declare your greatness. It will be evident, the world will see the results, and they will speak louder than any words you could have shared. Adversity is not the enemy of your growth. It is the silent teacher, the unseen sculptor shaping your strength. Life will test you, not because it seeks to break you, but because it seeks to awaken the strength already within you. Each challenge is a question. Will you give in to the weight, or will you rise above it? Think of the strongest steel. It does not become strong in ease, but in fire. It is the heat and the hammer that forge its strength. So it is with you. Without the fires of adversity, the depth of your resilience would remain hidden. You may not welcome the struggle, but when it comes you can choose to see it as the furnace in which your unshakable self is born. There have been times in your life when the weight felt unbearable, when loss, disappointment, or failure made you question your path. But look at you now. You are still here. You did not collapse beneath the pressure. Even in your hardest moments, you carried pieces of strength you didn't know you had, until the moment demanded them. That is the quiet miracle of adversity. It reveals the depth of your endurance. Adversity also has a way of sharpening your perspective. When everything falls apart, you begin to see what truly matters. The noise fades, and your priorities shift. You stop chasing the trivial and start building what lasts. Every storm, if you let it, teaches you to live more intentionally. But to rise through adversity, you must shift your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin asking, what is this teaching me? This change in question is a change in power. One keeps you stuck in despair, the other moves you forward into growth. Every setback carries within it a seed, the seed of a comeback, the seed of wisdom, the seed of a stronger version of yourself. You may not see it right away, you may only see the ashes of what was lost, but if you trust the process and nurture that seed with patience, you will one day look back and realize that what once felt like an ending was in fact a beginning. Consider the stories of those who achieved greatness. Rarely do they speak of an easy journey. They speak of failures, rejections, losses, and how each one became a turning point. They became unshakable not by avoiding adversity, but by enduring it. Their stories remind you that adversity is not a detour from your path. It is the very path itself. So how do you rise when life brings you to your knees? You begin with acceptance, not resignation, but acknowledgement. You stop fighting reality and start working with it. You say, this is where I am, and from here I will rise. From that acceptance comes clarity, and from clarity comes strength. You also rise by focusing, not on what you cannot control but on what you can. The storm may rage around you, but you control your response. You control the meaning you give to the struggle. You control the small steps you take each day to move forward. And those small steps, repeated with persistence, become the staircase that lifts you out of the storm. Remember this, the human spirit is more resilient than you know. History is filled with stories of men and women who endured trials that seemed impossible, yet emerged stronger. What they carried was not an absence of pain, but the presence of resilience. And that same resilience lives in you. You are not defined by the adversity you face, but by the way you rise from it. Every time you get back up, You prove to yourself that you are stronger than the fall. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every challenge becomes a chapter in the book of your becoming. So the next time adversity comes, and it will meet it with steady eyes, remind yourself, this too is shaping me, this too will pass, and when it does, I will stand taller than before. Because in the end, adversity is not the fire that destroys you, it is the fire that refines you. Every morning, life hands you a blank canvas. The question is not whether you will paint on it, but what you will choose to create. Some people let the brush move aimlessly, filling the day with scattered strokes of distraction. Others, with clarity and intention, paint carefully, stroke by stroke, building a picture of the life they want to live. Purpose is the Purpose transforms ordinary routines into rituals of growth. It turns a simple act, like waking early or sitting down to work, into a declaration, I am moving closer to who I am meant to be. When you live with purpose, every moment matters. You stop waiting for the big break or the perfect time, and begin to see the power in the present. The truth is, your life is not built in the distant sun. It is built in the choices you make today. The choice to stay disciplined, the choice to focus, the choice to rise, even when it is difficult. Think of a compass. Without it, even a strong ship can drift aimlessly on the ocean. Your purpose is that compass. It does not remove the storms, it simply ensures you do not lose your direction. Even if the winds push you off course, your compass will guide you back. But how do you discover this clarity of purpose? You begin by asking yourself, what do I truly value? What kind of life do I want to build? The answers may not come immediately, but the asking itself is a step. With time, you begin to see patterns, the things that energize you, the habits that bring you peace, the work that feels meaningful. These are the clues that point to your deeper purpose. Living with intention means aligning your daily actions with that purpose. It is not enough to dream of a better future. You must embody the habits that build it. If your vision is to become strong, your actions must reflect discipline. If your vision is to achieve mastery, your actions must reflect consistency. Dreams alone cannot shape your life, but daily choices can. One of the simplest ways to walk with intention is to begin each day with clarity. Before the world demands your attention, ask yourself, what do I want this day to mean? What one step can I take today that moves me closer to my vision? That single question can turn your day from routine into ritual, from scattered into purposeful. And remember, intention does not always mean doing more. Often it means doing less, removing what is meaningless, so that what is meaningful can rise. Purpose thrives not in the noise of endless tasks, but in the quiet focus of chosen priorities. Do not be discouraged if your steps feel small. The power of intention lies not in the size of the action, but in its consistency. A stone carver does not break the rock with a single strike, but with steady, faithful blows. So it is with your life. Each small step, guided by intention, builds a path that one day reveals the vision you dreamed of. There will be days when your purpose feels distant, when you wonder if your quiet efforts truly matter. On those days, remind yourself, purpose is not about perfection, it is about direction. Even imperfect steps, when guided by intention, move you forward. And so you keep walking, not because the path is always easy, but because it is yours. With every choice you make, you write a line of your story. With every intentional step, you become the author of a life that reflects your deepest values. Your life is the sum of the days you choose to live with meaning. And when you move with intention, you no longer wander through your days, you rise within. Your future is not a distant dream waiting to happen. It is unfolding in this very moment, in the choices you make, in the thoughts you nurture, in the habits you practice each day. The truth is simple yet profound. You are not a passive traveler in your life. You are the architect, the builder, the master. Every decision you make, no matter how small, is a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. The choice to wake up early, the choice to focus instead of drift, the choice to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow. These are not insignificant moments. They are the very building blocks of the life you desire. Perhaps you've doubted this power before. Perhaps you've looked at your life and thought, this is just the way it is. But the truth whispers louder. It is the way you choose to make. Your circumstances may shape the starting point, but your choices determine the path. Becoming the master of your future does not demand perfection. It asks for persistence. It calls for the steady courage to show up daily for your vision. It is not about avoiding failure, but about meeting it head-on and learning what it has come to teach. Every setback you endure, every obstacle you rise from, adds a layer of strength to your spirit. Think of your journey until now, the quiet mornings of discipline, the nights you resisted comfort in favor of growth, the struggles that tested you, and the victories no one else saw. They have not been in vain. They were the training ground for the life you are about to claim. Your discipline has taught you your strength has carried you through storms. Your patience has reminded you that growth takes time. Your purpose has given you a reason to rise again and again. Together they form the foundation of your future. Together they make you unstoppable. But remember this truth. The person you long to become is not separate from who you are now. They live within you already, waiting for you to call them forth. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you awaken them. Every time you silence doubt with action, you strengthen them. Every time you walk with purpose, you bring them to life. So ask yourself, what future do you wish to command? Picture it clearly. See it not as a dream, but as a destination you are already walking toward, and then align your daily actions with that vision. When you live as if your future already belongs to you, you begin to embody the power that makes it real. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now. Your power is not in tomorrow, but in the quiet daily wins that carried you here are proof that you can rise again, stronger, sharper, more determined. And if you keep walking, if you keep choosing, if you keep believing, you will not just dream of a future, you will master. Stand tall in the truth that you are capable of more than you have ever imagined. The path ahead may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it, because it is the path you have chosen, the path of mastery, the path of becoming the author of your own destiny.